What is up, everybody? It's Captain Glitch here. Today we're going to be playing through a beta slash demo of a current work in progress zero mission hack by Metroid Prime Stratton. Since this is a beta slash demo, it's not going to be complete. There's going to be a lot of things you see that may raise an eyebrow, but it's likely not final. A lot of stuff that you're going to see isn't final, including suit palettes and level design, just stuff like that. This is just a concept, make sure everything's working fine. This is also going to critique a bit, I guess. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send this to the hack creator and just so I can give him my opinion, I guess, of the level design. I've talked to him a bit already. He's fine with me recording this, so it's all good. See, we got a little story right here about space pirates raiding a planet. Not sure if that's final. You see, we start right away. No intro, like in the original Zero Mission, which is pretty nice because that overwrites some graphics and does things. And that was a patch made by Biospark, so shoutouts to him for that. That's a really useful patch. It's not one I've personally used because I haven't made another hack since Deep Freeze. I've been working at ASM. So, yeah, we're just running around. Forgot what the name of the place was, but it's an interesting name. It's not a name I could come up with. I'm bad on creativity-wise. Which is what makes me horrible at art. But you see, I'm coming back in this room to get an energy tank. So, which I can't reach because I don't have bombs or space jump. High jump won't reach that either, so I should point out that this was pre-recorded, so I'm going to be talking in advance in some places about what's coming. Usually I'd prefer to do it live, because you get better reactions that way, but I didn't have the proper equipment at the time, because this isn't my main PC, but this PC does handle my mic better sound-wise, so it's a win-lose, so that's okay. If you've played Super Metroid Phase on hack, this hack's kind of going for a similar atmosphere, as far as I remember when I was talking to the creator of it. At least in regards to palettes and stuff, just the same atmosphere. Right there, you got a messed up background, just with the three of those throughout the video. And see, we got some data rooms. No relation to fusion data rooms. They're just save stations, renamed, which is cool. So right now, since we got Morph Ball, we're just looking for another means to look around. We're kind of locked by some doors right now, red doors and yellow doors. Since I doubt we're going to be getting power bombs, we're going to get missiles, so let's just flat out say we're getting missiles next. So it's not too far away actually, so we're going to get it in this room. See that item dot above me? That's what we're getting. I'm not sure if the platforming layout is final, but the creator said to be good at wall jumps when you play this. So if you play this hack whenever it's released, just expect there to be some wall jumping sections. Nothing too advanced, of course, just one or two wall jumps to get up to a platform. Nothing ridiculous. If you noticed when I grabbed that missile and morph ball earlier, it did not take us to the status screen, even though we don't have those items. If you're used to normal Zero Mission, it would take you to the status screen and explain what the item is and do a whole mini cutscene. That's a patch he has applied to this where it essentially skips that. It sounds pretty simple, but it was actually a massive patch because the item is actually only turned on once you go to the status screen. So if you just skipped going to the pause screen at all, you'd get the item, but it wouldn't activate. So essentially, you couldn't do anything with it. So that patch had to be really massive to account for every item and manually turn it on. So it's kind of annoying, but it's a patch I made. It's pretty nice. It skips, the cutscene because it's kind of useless if you already know what all the items do. and if you don't, you can always just go to the status screen or sub-screen, whatever you want to call it, and just look at it that way. And so now we're exploring a bit. We got a really interesting room coming up. If you notice some weird things in the background and how the map square is really weird, you're going to see that why in just a second. Here it is. You can see the outline of the other room we were just in. So this room is technically behind the other one. That's what he was going for. I'm trying to jump back up there, but I'm bad because I wanted to get another look at it. Yeah, so that's the outline of the room we were just in. It's a pretty neat concept. I feel like it could be executed better, maybe. I'm not sure how you go about that, because how transparency works. You could probably use like BG0 transparency tiles that change the level of transparency as you go through it. I think that would be really cool. So you only see through it like once you go through it, and otherwise that room would be on top. That would be a really cool effect. But a really neat idea. I thought it was really cool, not something I thought of before. And even made custom map tile to go with it, pretty cool. So you can see we get high jump, which is always nice. Over here we're gonna go get some things, but we're actually gonna end up taking a reset pretty soon because there was an unfortunate perma stuck because I missed a certain item that would have helped me get out of an area we're gonna go to in a minute. And that's just, I mean, that's kind of why you have betas and demos, to get those things out of the way and fixed. So it's not a big deal. Luckily there's a safe data room rather up here, so we're gonna end up cutting back to over there in a few minutes because I forgot to start recording from the moment I loaded the save, so it's gonna cut back to me standing directly in front of this door while it's open. Again, not a big deal, but we'll see that soon. So, looking at the map right here, Morcan, I think the name of the area was. Interesting name again, not something I could come up with because I lack creativity. You get a normal missile. And yeah, I paused there because I took a screenshot to show them that this background is messed up. This is the first one I actually noticed. The other room, before the very first data room, I didn't notice the background is messed up until I watched the video. So, but yeah, we're gonna find one more of those later, and they all are simple fixes. It's just a messed up pointer, so you can just re-import the graphics or change the pointer. Nothing big. And as for vertical transitions like the one we just went through, I'd recommend lowering the ledges a bit because wall jumping out of a vertical transition is kind of annoying. It's an issue we had in Deep Freeze before 1.3, and I think there were a couple spots in 1.3 that had that issue. Just the ledge being too high, so you had to either power grip or go to a specific side in order to land without going back to the door transition, which can be really annoying, especially to new players that aren't good at performing wall jumps. So I'd suggest lowering that because that was something that was present in my hack for a time, and it was annoying even to me. And this is pretty much where we're stuck at. See why this thing, we can't get in there because we don't have bombs. You can't mid-air morph just in there just because how zero mission mid-air morphing works. It pushes you down a bit, so we actually can't mid-air morph in there because of the ceiling. And we can't get back out here because there's no wall for us to wall jump off of to get enough height because those ledges are sticking out and blocking our path. So I'm going to end up going back down and checking things one more time, make sure I'm not missing something, but I'll tell you here first, we are stuck and we're going to end up taking a reset real soon. I also checked this door again. This door doesn't actually have door cap tiles, door cap clip data actually, which is similar to BTS if you have hacked into Super Metroid before. essentially it doesn't function like a door, it's just solid blocks, and that's just to block off from the next area because we're mainly only going to be seeing this area in the hack. There's one other area, but we'll see very little of that towards the end. Here I was trying to go for some damage boost to get up there, but even if I would have done it correctly, which I didn't because I'm bad, we wouldn't have got up there. We've been a couple pixels short, so quite unfortunate stuff. So right here we're about to take a reset. Alright, so we're at the cut we were just at. So basically, we're just going to end up going back and grabbing that stuff that we lost and that reset later. But this is the other side we're actually coming around to. We still can't do anything from this side. As you just saw there, I was floating. Your eyes did not deceive you. I was indeed floating. That's just because of how the clip data is handled. I'm not sure how exactly it handles that. It has something to do with the slopes and how it's not set up correctly. I don't remember exactly what the setup is, but if you don't put the correct clip data after slopes and you run on slopes without stopping, it'll just essentially act like there's no other block there. No, what am I trying to say, my dudes? Essentially, you just keep walking on air, which isn't optimal. So I was just trying to do it right there so I could show the creator, you know, there's an issue going on there. I know how to prevent it when I'm making my hack. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what exactly causes it and what prevents it. But just know that's something that can happen if you label your clip data incorrectly with slopes. And so here we find a missile. I forgot that we're going to find that here. I'm going to try to go for a jump out of that little one block thing. As you can see, I failed it. It's pretty easy to do actually, but I didn't do it. It's just one of the things your mission has. You can easily jump out of those spots with Spring Ball. And here we're coming to grab bombs, which is an item we missed earlier. If we had that, we wouldn't have been perma-stuck down there, so that's quite unfortunate. Also, that was one of the other rooms that have a messed up background. There's actually 5 messed up background rooms. I mentioned that there were 3 earlier. It's actually 5. And also, appreciate these double bomb jumps. Pretty good stuff. I'm glad I learned that ages ago. Double bomb jumps are very pretty once done correctly. Then there's some screw attack blocks. I don't think screw attack is in this hack. Not in the demo at least, so we won't be seeing what's in that area this video. So now we're going to go down that long morph tunnel that we came by earlier. We couldn't get past because we didn't have a means of jumping in morph ball. So we're actually going to head back over there, and I'll just let y'all enjoy that journey in silence until we get near that. So we're in the room before the tunnel, and here you're going to see me filling up the map tiles. That's not an OCD thing, though for some it might. For me it kind of is, but since this is a beta test, I'm doing my best to actually test things out. And so I'm checking for items and stuff up there, see if the camera scrolls up there all the way, make sure the ceiling's solid, things like that. So I'm not just doing that for no reason. There's actually pretty good intentions behind doing that. So now that we can get past that, we can go all the way down this really long tunnel and get to another area of this another area of this area, good words. Right there is an elevator up to the frozen surface, which is spoilers. That's the second area we're going to be seeing. There's only 3 rooms we're going to be seeing of that area. The only reason I didn't take it there is because I had actually taken a peek at this hack while helping the creator find some graphics that were mage repointed. So that was one of the few spots I did see, and since I know what's up there, I kind of didn't want to go up there yet. I wanted to look around to things I hadn't seen. So So here we have a map room. It doesn't reveal much, at least not for the demo. I'm not sure how much is going to be revealed for the full hack, but as you can see area names such as Aurora Labs, Frozen Surface, the Ruins. Interesting stuff that I'm eager to see in the full release. So we're going to take the path on the right here, and it actually leads us to a new beam upgrade. It's not new in a sense like something that's never been seen before, but it's new as in something, as in it's just another new power-up, you know what I mean? We can't actually, we're going to try to mid-air-morph up there, but that's not actually possible. So we're just going to bomb jump. I'm going to fail a couple double bomb jumps because I'm bad. Double bomb jumps I usually don't have trouble with, but sometimes I get too hasty and I just miss time stuff, so it's going to be unfortunate. So I think this is the last one I fail, and then I'm going to resort to single bomb jumping just because it's easier, and I didn't want to keep failing and make myself look bad, even though I already made myself look bad by missing those bubble bomb jumps. So we're going over here, and we got another shaft. There's got another data room here. The one thing I've noticed about this hack is there are a lot of data rooms, aka save rooms. I mean, right now they don't really serve much purpose, at least for this area, because you don't have much, you're not really in danger. So right there I noticed that there was some blocks, and I felt kind of suspicious because it was just natural terrain and then it turned into that. So those suspicions were not in vain, and I ended up getting a missile pack out of it, which is nice. So here, this is another example of wanting to raise the door output value or lower the ledge so you don't keep falling back in and having to wall jump to get out. So, alright, I'm going to have to explain a couple things really quick. That shows a statue. He knows that's backwards. Your mission has a function that essentially just dictates which Chozo statues are flipped certain directions. So he just has to go through that. So that's not going to be like that in the final version. Also, those screens that you see, the graphics are messed up, and they contain graphics from the message box we just saw. Why is that? Well, Zero Mission actually has a limit to how many graphics you can have per sprite, which is no surprise. Super Metroid has that as well. However, Zero Mission does it in an interesting way. There's actually graphics slots. There's 7 dedicated slots of graphics for sprites. And one sprite can use all 7 graphics, one sprite can use one row, so the row doesn't dictate how many different sprites can be in the room. It's just how we measure it, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but so there's 7 dedicated rows, and message boxes use most of the time, if not always, line 7. So the enemy's graphics we just saw messed up happened to be on line 7 where the message box was, and since the message box overwrites whatever's on line 7, that enemy's graphics got overwritten, and then it in its place started using message box graphics. So, and the graphics didn't refresh because the enemy's graphics are only loaded into a line once it's initialized, a la once it's loaded into the room. So it only does that once you load into the room. So it doesn't refresh until you reset the room. So that's a pretty easy fix. Just move the screen off line 7, or remove the enemy, or remove the item. Simple as that. Otherwise, there's not really a way around that. You can probably, with some ASM, move which message box the line is on, but it's still going to cause issues for anything else on other lines. So here we see our first look at the frozen surface, and we're taking some cold damage. I'm not sure if he used the heat damage bit or the cold damage bit. There's 2 different values for damage like this. One is cold, one is heat. The cold bit for Zero Mission is unused, so it exists in the game, it's just not used. So I believe he's using the cold version, which doesn't warp the background. So we don't want to deal with that right now because we know we have another energy tank later, which is actually what I'm going to go back and get right now, because more energy, the better. So we're going to see that area again towards the end. And we're going to actually go back and grab some more items, including the ones that we lost when we had to take a reset. Again, just scaling walls just to check and make sure everything's working properly. Again, it's not OCD or random impulse, it's just me checking stuff, making sure scrolls are working, making sure everything's solid, that I can't clip out of bounds, because that's a good thing for a creator to know. There's no way he could physically possibly, that was redundant, physically possibly, there's no way he can physically test everything. Theoretically you could, but I mean, it's just not realistic to think that one dude can find every bug in your creation. It's just similar to programming, there's always going to be a bug in it. It's going to be really hard to find them if you just test it yourself. So that's what a beta tester's jobs are for, just to help them, aid them with the bug fixing process and finding glitches and exploits that you don't want, such as getting in a spot to where like an enemy can't hit you, or like a boss or something like that, which is different from a cheese strat like Metroid. You can avoid his claw by crouching. I mean, that's not necessarily a glitch, that's just a safe spot. So now we're gonna go down here to grab the items we missed again. We see some old rooms. We're also gonna see a couple new ones because there's actually a hidden spot. We'll see that in a second. As you can see, I take damage quite a bit. It's probably just, I don't know if you'd call it a play style. I've noticed people take damage a lot. That's kind of how I play. Unless, of course, I'm at low energy or low health in whatever game I'm playing, then I'll play more cautious. Or unless it's a survival game like Call of Duty Zombies, I don't try not to get hit at all. But for the most part, I kind of just tank everything and not really think otherwise. Probably not the smartest way to play, especially if you're a sadistic hacker and like to make enemies insta-kill. I'm looking at you, Ing, with your winter mission frickin' Rios, that insta-kill. Speaking of, I need to do a playthrough of that hack. Completely forgot. That hack's been out a while. That hack actually technically came out before Deep Freeze, fun fact, a couple days before, so now we can get up here. I tried doing some fancy bomb jumping, but that didn't actually work. And right there, I didn't actually expect there to be a secret. I kind of just found it. So here we're just looking for an item, and there it is. The next room is one of the last rooms you'll see is messed up background, and also a messed up scroll. You can actually see past the door right there, which is no good. And yeah, we just kind of came through the floor right there. I'm not sure if was what he wanted. I mean, according to the map, that is. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I just think it's really interesting. Especially to make it a one-way path like that. I feel there's probably a better way to make the player come out of there. I'm not sure. Just, it seems kind of strange for the player just to come through the floor like that. I don't know. But it's definitely not bad, just kind of interesting. Also, this is one of the rooms with the messed up background. I did not point it out earlier. And I'm sure all those rooms share the same background pointer, so it's not like all of them need to be fixed separately. I'm pretty sure if he fixes one, it'll fix all the others just because they share the pointer. And just again as a reminder, we can't get that other item dot down there because it requires screw attack blocks, unless it was in a spot in the wall that wasn't behind those blocks, which I doubt it was. But either way, we don't have screw attack, and we're just gonna assume we can't get it. So now we're heading up to the frozen surface. This is towards the end of the demo. There's no like official this is the end of the demo text or anything, but we're essentially at the end of the part where we can't do anything else. So we're gonna grab one more major upgrade. I think one more upgrade period. There's not even any more expansions after this point. So it's a pretty nice upgrade. It's definitely one that you'd like to see, especially in a damaging area such as this. So we're going to take a quick refill here, just because we don't want to run around with a whole tank missing. I think we're going to be, by the time we're able to regain control, we're going to be at 89 health. Nope, it's 79 health it looked like, so that's fine. That's still more energy than we had. So we're going to quickly do some wall jumps to get up here, see what's up here before we die. There's one other room, let's see what's over here. Oh, another backwards Chozo, and we got the Toxin Shield, which is, as you can see, it's just the Variosuit. It's not repaleted or anything, just because we haven't got to that. As you can see from the status menu, it looks like it's supposed to be a bluish color, which is kind of neat. Blue is good. So basically that stops heat damage and essentially cold damage, it looks like, so that's good. And so from this point on, the hack's pretty much over, the demo's over rather. We're just going to fill in these last map squares again for just checking, and you're actually about to see why, because we actually do find a scroll error at about 10 seconds, maybe less. Nope, here it comes. Yeah, so you see I'm screen wrapping right now, and that's because I guess the scroll blocks aren't reaching over there. I'm not sure, I haven't taken a look, but I don't scroll when I wall jump off that wall, so I screen wrap until I fall back down into a scroll block or until I get back down to the bottom. And then all we're doing is filling up those last 5, I think it was 5 square tiles. But other than that, there's not really else much to say. This was not Super Metroid. This was Metroid Exo by Prime Stratton. There's no release date as of yet. This is just the beta. Also, nice landing into the ship there. That was unintentional. This is just a demo. He still has quite a bit of work to do. This is just like a concept thing. So, do expect this in the future. I'm eager to see what he has planned for this. Especially since it's going to have an atmosphere similar to Phase on Hack, which is a pretty great hack. So, from now on, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching. Look forward to this hack and to any more zero mission videos and hack videos. And I'm just going to go back down the elevator, check my map to double check I got everything, and that'll be it. I'll see you guys later.